Good morning, I'm Hans, and this FOA is to analyze the effectiveness of propaganda used during the Second World War in the 1940s by America and Germany. Throughout history, there have been a countless number of events that have established the world that we live in today, and that continue to be passed down from generation to generation. But how might these events have been sparked? How could the corrupt thoughts of a few leaders of society be spread throughout an entire country's population? Propaganda. Propaganda can be defined as a mode of communication used to manipulate or influence the opinion of groups to support a particular cause or belief. Propaganda can be found in many forms, including, but not limited to, artwork, music, speeches, and even film. Specifically through the use of careful imagery, connotation, and symbols, propagandists have been able to effectively emphasize their personal beliefs while simultaneously trumping the counter-arguments of others. However, propaganda does not need to be used in a negative manner. For example, it may allow us to fall victim to singing a jingle from an advertisement or even influencing us to purchase a specific good. It can often be seen throughout historical periods of terror. Therefore, this FOA will be primarily focusing on propaganda from World War I. Now, to look at the effectiveness of propaganda, I'll be analyzing the wartime propaganda posters, namely I Want You, Wartime Nurse Poster, and Eternal Jew. Firstly, due to a shortage of recruits, America during the 1900s seeked individuals willing to sacrifice the comfort of their homes in favor of the battlefield. In order to encourage the population to both participate in the war and in government affairs, America hired advertising companies to prepare and circulate propaganda posters. An example of such a poster can be seen on this slide with the traditional I Want You poster that has come to be associated with American propaganda and which was first circulated in 1970. It depicts the popular American icon in the form of both pathos and ethos, Uncle Sam, stoically pointing towards the viewer with the letters I Want You engraved at the bottom. Due to its astounding popularity, the poster was one of the most memorable inventions that helped the United States enlist over 20 million Americans in both of the world wars combined. The magnitude of ethos, pathos, and logos depicted in the poster drew the attention of millions and persuaded young Americans, who were the target audience, to join arms and fight for the country. The words I Want You immediately captured the target audience's attention as the focal point of the image, due to their sizable proportions, and instilled the idea of enlisting in the viewer's mind. The confrontational nature of the finger, which is set so that if looked at there's no way around it, further enforces the idea that the message below is intended specifically for the viewer. The red coloration of you instead of black further reiterates the personalized nature of the poster. With this, the propagandists demonstrate their desire to involve the individual rather than the general American public. This strategy demonstrates its designer's foresight as it provides the audience with a sense of obligation to enlist. Another addition to the pathos of this poster is the color scheme. The colors used in the poster signify the United States in all of its glory. Red, white, and blue catch Americans' eyes because it has a sentimental meaning. Unity and pride overcome an American when the colors are presented to them. Using patriotic colors influences the viewer to feel proud of his country, thus pathos is used. The poster uses logos to plant the idea of joining the United States war cause. The period of time that this poster was used in was a hectic and chaotic time of war, and the poster served to help the country maintain its stability and power. The text is easy to read and directly tells the viewer that they should join the army in this chaotic time. Another appeal to logos is the fact that the viewer can experience all of the main and most important points included in the poster, which in the end helped the United States gain the massive amount of troops that they received. The only question leaving the target audience with would be, where can I sign up? Additionally, in another instance, propaganda can perpetuate or create stereotypical gender roles. During World War II, the Americans needed as many people to participate in the war as possible. This bright and attractive poster glamorizes the nurse's role and appeals to women, allowing them to feel important in this dire situation, thus utilizing a form of pathos. Ideas of patriotism can be seen from the sleeve of the shirt in the photo where the American flag has been illustrated on a tailored suit of who is assumed to be of high authority. The authority represents the overarching idea of the clash of gender roles, and this poster further emphasizes and strengthens these perspectives of them. Additionally, the woman seen smiling, accepting of this role. To that end, pathos is utilized through the need for affiliation, which is represented by the dominating male figure who holds the cap, and it would seem as if he's crowning the woman through a nurse's cap, giving the woman of that time the idea that this role is superior and would entail more high power and authority. The hands of the figure can be determined to be a male's due to the relatively larger size to the woman, and also seen to be rough, rugged, and with creases. Moreover, the woman wears makeup with a content and proud smile in the nurse's outfit, giving other women desires of being in her place as they are viewed as items with positive and luxurious connotations. The idea that she can also help in her own way very subtly solidifies the gender roles. Therefore, it can be seen that the idea of propaganda can be used to shape gender roles effectively by promoting the idea of pink collar jobs by the means of appealing to emotion. Lastly, at the mid 20th century, the fanatic tone of Nazi propaganda had reflected the increasingly growing radicalization of the anti Semitic policies. The portrayals of Jews seen in the different propaganda reinforces the anxieties of the modern political and economical developments, with no question toward the reality that the Jews actually played in Germany. In context, the poster here exhibits the perspective that the Germans held upon self-seeking individualism, which was embraced by the Jews and towards their own people's community. To do such, the Germans displayed an Eastern Jew bearing a kaftan holding in one hand a whip and gold coins in the other. Placed under his hand is the world map, which is portrayed by the hammer and sickle, representing a proletarian solidarity. Germany used similar tactics towards America, however, they did not promote production as much as America did. Their propaganda campaign dealt with the promotion of nationalism and the Nazi Party. The propaganda tactic that best showed this type of stereotypical view were the pictures of Jewish people and how they were presented compared to Nazi soldiers. As shown in the poster of the one with the Jewish man, the Jews were depicted with big noses and monstrous hunchbacks. The propagandists used discriminatory visual and literal imagery in order to elicit hatred and to exaggerate the appearance of the enemy, aimed to disgust the Germans, to bring out their inner hate for the Jews. These posters were also successful because they helped the Nazi Party grow and fulfill its goals by destroying the Jewish nation through the use of dehumanizing views against them. The impact goes far beyond these associations, serious as those are. The text is in a Hebrew font to establish the origin of the figure, also meaning the eternal Jew, a medieval folklore of a man that was cursed. Furthermore, by the text, the poster uses pathos as a means to play upon people's fears of the other and creates anxiety about a suspicious they who might be hiding something. In the words of the poster, they encouraged a majority of people to focus and fear on these minority groups, making them target of suspicion and violence. This example illustrates how World War II propaganda posters achieved two purposes through the same means because they were able to instill fear and racial prejudice against the enemy. It appealed to emotions of the Nazis, where the poster can be seen as a medium to further instill hatred on the Jews, which conclusively can be seen as extremely overt and powerful. Overall, there are many uses of propaganda, and even within wartime itself, it can have a variety of purposes. For example, the I Want You poster showcases that propaganda is one of the biggest weapons that is used by the government in order to persuade the public to help support a cause. It is effectively used to empower and encourage the general population to join the army. We can say that one of the factors that helped with the victory by the United States and the Allied power was the maximized nationalism within the American people. This I Want You has captivated American viewers through the use of pathos in the figure of Uncle Sam, a well-respected role model symbolizing the highly revered government. Pathos in the USA flag color scheme promoting a sentiment of patriotism and logos in the text written on the posters. Furthermore, a similar sense of persuasiveness can also be seen for a different purpose in the Jewish Portrayal poster, in which is used for discriminatory purposes. These propaganda posters have triggered racism on a national scale, which was institutionalized in the form of internment camps for the Holocaust. The Eternal Jew evokes a feeling of hatred and fear from the Germans through the clear exaggeration of the Jewish enemy. The mocking image of a distorted and supposedly Jewish man, along with the use of racial slurs, uses pathos to instill terror amongst viewers, whilst additionally dehumanizing the Jewish, allowing the Germans to feel far superior. Propaganda was also seen as a means to instigate gender stereotypes for the nurse recruitment poster. With the glorification of this nursing job, the poster uses pathos in order to appeal to the woman, which effectively maintaining male dominance through the positioning and proportions of the figures in the image. Therefore, although propaganda can be used for an array of purposes, all posters still have one common feature, that is, being the extent to which they have been persuasive towards the people of the specific time period, which in this case is during World War II. While propaganda and its ability to spread ideas amongst the masses, many of the catastrophic events that shape our world today may have not have occurred in the same manner. Thus, we can see how propaganda has and always will continue to play a prominent role in our society.